Hi, welcome back. So, we are wrapping up Year of the Snake, right? And I feel like last year I did a Divine Doorway read, and I think I'm gonna do another one that's like that. So, I haven't been doing as many readings lately, just because I've really been feeling called to just rest a lot. So I've been just kind of going along and doing that. And you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like my personal approach to doing readings, like, I do readings as light work, mainly because, like, one of my spiritual gifts is, like, bringing things into the light that are hidden in the dark. So maybe messages that need to come out for the collective and or people out here who are looking for things. And or like, if you're somebody who like listens to a lot of tarot like me, you might have noticed that like certain narratives and or stories start to kind of drown out all the things that are coming out in a lot of readings. And and you can go to completely different readers and be hearing the same story, right? And so it's like sometimes I feel like when I do readings that it like stirs up the energy somehow. So, whoops. I guess I'm gonna take that. What was the other one? This one? Yeah. So we're gonna do this one, and this one. Alright. Ooh. It says this is actually a reading for the upcoming Chinese New Year, and the bottom of the deck says begin here, which that's so great, right? So like we're coming into this year of the horse, and it's going to be the fire horse. So this is really supposed to be a lot of year of momentum. And then, I mean, I don't know for sure because I don't really follow him personally too much, but I've heard it said that Elon Musk was saying that this year is supposed to be like a singularity. I'm not 100% sure what that's actually supposed to mean, but you know, so maybe it has something to do with that. But like the year of the snake is all about like shedding the skins of the past and leaving behind what no longer serves us. Wow. So the doorway for this card wanted to come out face side up, and the first fortune cookie was coming out face side up. Wow, those totally go together. Oh my goodness. So this could be like a pick a pile. You can pick all of them. It's up to you. I was gonna, even though we are coming into the year of the horse, and this reading is for closing out the year of the snake, and I may do one more next week that's like reading the year of the horse specifically. And I like doing readings for the Chinese New Year's because, I don't know, I've always resonated with the Chinese zodiac a lot. Like, I'm a rabbit, and I've always identified with the rabbit way more than being a Virgo, which is interesting. Until a few years ago, I used to never even relate to being a Virgo. Um, I used to feel like I related to Pisces more, and which I do have a Pisces in my chart, but ooh, at bottom of this is challenges. It says take time out from problems or conflicts or approach softly to avoid making matters worse. I don't know who needed to hear that, but as you close out this year, if you're like, you know, maybe somebody needs some like gentle beginnings, you know what I mean? So maybe if you're starting a new job or a new project, if you're moving to a new neighborhood, joining a new community, any of these kind of things, maybe you should be approaching it with just a little bit of gentility to have best results. So I don't know who that applies to, but we like to say in tarot that take what resonates, right? Now I'm gonna give like an animal card for each stack. Wow, so the animal cards didn't flip. Oh, all right. And this last one will get a bonus. Oh, we have the shark inverted. So, all right. So this first two, you know what? So look, like these first two, they both flipped over, right? And we have so like this gate is a distant kiss and a prayer flag, and it says, "I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near." Oh, and then the fortune cookie that came out for it was the love cookie. And it says, "Love is in the air, a great time for commitment and taking relationships to the next level." Which, incidentally, it's going to be Valentine's Day in like 11 days. So, and this card has the bear. Oh my god, that's amazing. So, that's awesome. You know what? Like, a while back, I had, a while back, it was like, you know how they have like those little quizzes, those little quiz apps on Facebook. And one time I saw one for like a Navajo zodiac, and so I just like looked at it just out of general curiosity. You know, I'm like a curious cat, right? So and like, and I actually in the Navajo, mine was the bear, and that was really interesting to me because I've like never identified with bear energy before that. Oh my god, where is the bear in here? Oh, guys, I'm like looking in the books. I was gonna read it to you, and it's like, man, the bear is just like, guys, just like not showing himself. Come on, bear. Oh, bear, brown bear, brown bear. Where you at, buddy? Lip, mouth, earthworm. Ah, here we go. All right. So it says the bear is waking from spiritual slumber and beginning anew. Wow, that's, oh my goodness, I love it. All right, so talk about beginning anew for a Chinese New Year. I think that's great. So it says, after a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber, and at first the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of a new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of the spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles. But you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes and the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. And it says, when in balance, that you have inner strength and a yearning to grow. And this coming out right side up, I always take a right side up as being in balance and the upside down as being out of balance. But if you were out of balance, it says that you need movement and exercise. So maybe you're already getting the movement and exercise. So if you're somebody who resonates with this energy and you're feeling like you might be out of balance, you may identify being out of balance by having withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness. All right. So I'm going to put this aside and we're going to keep going. So, door number 2, which is the distant dream. And it says, wow. So first we had a distant kiss, and now we have a distant dream. It says, the distance calls your heart to roam free. As you dare dream it, so it must be. Wow, that's awesome. Whoa! And now this one is coming with signs. And it says, your future positive direction will reveal itself. Any doubts and confusions will soon disappear. So if you, oh, and then we have the fire ant, which is some nice fire. Dudes, I like it. I feel like that fire energy is great. You know what? Ants are like, I used to play a game called Simant back in the day, and fire ants were like, dude, if you ran into a fire ant while you were out and about, that was it. It was RIP, dude. So anyway, so the fire ants, it says aggression, rigid thinking, and following orders. And it says fire ant energy flares up without us knowing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. So it says when in balance is thoughtful and disciplined, but when out of balance, argues, has excessive heat, and gossips. This did come out upside down. This came out like this. So I feel like whoever this middle gate is for, that they're, so since it's talking about drama and gossip, so you had a dream, maybe you had a dream and you saw signs about your dream, and maybe you were telling people about your dream, and so people started talking about it. And it says to bring this back into balance, you just need some solo time and to go take some walks at night, okay? So, so this, I feel like this just really speaks to, like, really getting worked up and kind of feeling upset about some things. But the good news is that getting this reading now before the actual Chinese New Year even actually hits, because like I was saying, right? I was saying how, like, this is kind of closing out Year of the Snake, which is leaving behind. It's like, whatever this was, it's like this still gives you that chance to, whatever was this drama and the gossip, to just leave that behind. It's like, whatever this is, I'm sure it's not serving you, right? So you can just be like, well, you know what? I personally think that you should choose yourself. And you need to, by choosing yourself, I mean what's really good for you. So door number 3, we have this metallic door with the rust at the bottom. And this is called Deeper. And it says that you are not finished and you are not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. Hold on, hold on. So if you pick this door number 3, if you've been through a hard time lately, just hang in there, okay? Because guess what? Your fortune cookie says opportunities, and it says an important offer will be made. Be prepared and dress to impress. So if somebody invites you somewhere, definitely go and dress to the nines. So you got 2 cards. You got the snake, which I was doing this reading as the Year of the Snake. And then you also have a tiger in reverse. So that's interesting. So we have fire and earth. So the snake is an earth energy, which is really interesting. All right, so the earthworm is shy, hesitant, reluctant to share their inner vision. It says we have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Oh, which it was like this other card was talking about not losing hope. I love it. All right, so, and it says, mastery takes time and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. Isn't that kind of like a wink? They said like, rumor has it, and that was talking about gossip. Oh my god. So, it says, when in balance, you're earnest, intelligent, and valuable. So, you did come up right, so I would assume that to be the case. But just as a sort of extra, if you were out of balance, would make you feel self-conscious and apprehensive. And to bring this into balance, you need to speak up and risk feeling embarrassed to speak your truth. So you also have the tiger, which was like a bonus card that wanted to come out with it. And I did do that because even though it gives this pile an extra card, I always feel like if something wants to come out, then I'll almost always allow it, because I feel like if it wants to be there, then let's allow all things, right? So it says the tiger is a lunar force and an ease in the darkness, and it's feminine energy. So this can be like, you may either identify as being a female energy. This could just be your inner divine female energy that's out of balance, and you may be a karmic female. You may have a female in your energy who's a karmic female. So, and it says the tiger hunts at night, and that one went to silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness and to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. So it says, when out of balance, which I would take from the upside down, is overstimulated. So to bring it back into balance, they recommend candle gazing, and it says that when in balance, you're passionate, strong, and sensual. So this is like so you may identify as somebody who's a really passionate individual, but it's kind of like by saying that by them saying you're overstimulated is like saying that like it's not even always a bad. Maybe it's like you're so passionate that like whatever's been going on with you, it's like you're both passionate and shy at the same time. So it's like maybe like it's creating like this duality, kind of sort of like a little bit of a toss up inside of you. So like there's part of you, like the passionate side of you really wants to like do and say a lot, but you're also kind of shy and afraid to speak up for yourself. So I feel like what they were saying with this is that I personally feel like this passion that's in you, I feel that because you have this together with the snake, that you really need to speak up, and you need to take a stand for yourself, and you really need to speak your truth, and you need to talk about how you feel. And you may be worried that it's going to make you look a little bit embarrassed or make you look bad, and you should just risk it. It's like, so what? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? And so, okay, look, to explain what I mean, you know, so if you're concerned about looking bad, but here's the thing about life, right? First of all, we have no control over anybody else. The only person we have control over is ourselves. And unfortunately, you know, when it comes to people, like people's perceptions of other people, first of all, a lot of people project like crazy. So whether or not they receive what you have to say probably has little to do with you. You know, it's where they themselves stand. And like maybe they'll receive it and maybe they don't. And if they don't, that doesn't mean anything bad about you. That doesn't mean anything negative about you. All that means is that that person is just mentally not there to receive it. Because, you know, it's like that stuff I see on like Instagram all the time where they talk about how like people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. So if you're trying to convey a truth to somebody and they haven't met that part of themselves, then they'll never understand it. They just don't have the capacity to meet you where you're at there because they don't get it. They don't get it. They need to like walk a mile in your shoes for a little while to realize that. And that's what people, so like, you know, a lot of times, like I like to talk to people about karma all the time. And so people get upset with me because they feel like wishing people karma is just wanting revenge. Karma is not always revenge. Karma is allowing people to go through situations that's going to teach them a lesson. And like, I know when people hear that, they think, oh yeah, well that's the same thing as revenge. No, it's not. Because most of the time, if you are doing something out of revenge, revenge is usually done from a place to devastate somebody. It's not to teach somebody a lesson. I mean, people will say, oh, I'm going to teach this person a lesson. But what they really mean is I'm going to try and annihilate this person and destroy their life in every possible way. Because I want them to suffer so I can enjoy their suffering. Karma is not destroying somebody's life so that you can sit back and enjoy their life being ruined. Karma's purpose is to balance the scales because, like, the people who can't meet you, then that means they have a lesson in life that they have to learn. And or maybe you have a lesson. And it could be that your lesson in this situation is just learning how to stand up for yourself and learning how to express yourself better. And that's great because we all need to express ourselves, you know? You can't just like Like, I'm a psychic intuitive person. I'm usually pretty good at picking up on people, but not everybody is like that. And in fact, a lot of people are not like that. And so it's like, if you're waiting for people to just decode you, you may wait for forever. You know, like I was saying before when I was talking about people projecting on you, and it's like, you know what? When people are projecting, they're not thinking about you, they're just thinking about themselves, right? So, like, if those people are already projecting and thinking about themselves, it's like, dude, they're not on the same page. They're not on that page at all. In order for them to maybe understand where you're coming from, they may have to just go through it themselves. And unfortunately, sometimes life is like that. Like, I'm a really stubborn person, and I can tell you that there's a lot of things that I've gone through life and have had to learn some really hard lessons. And that was because I'm a really stubborn person. Nobody can tell me anything, and sometimes I'm a know-it-all, and sometimes it's like people give me advice or they'll tell me information and I just don't listen to it, and then I have to go through it. And I've learned a lot of wisdom by going through it. And you know, I may give this wisdom to other people and they don't take it either. Because, you know, like if you're an earth energy, you know what? There's two earth energies and two fire here. So that's interesting. So there's a kind of duality balance going on. And both fires are upside down and both earth energies are right up. So it's like this earth energy, there is a lot of like it's a lot of, you know what? You know what's interesting about earth energy is that it, on the one hand, it's stubborn, but that stubbornness is also a steadfastness. You know, that stubbornness, like the stubbornness of a bear, makes that bear an unmovable mountain. The stubbornness of the snake makes it like, dude, it can hang out in that pile of rocks for days or weeks or however long it's going to until it gets hungry and ready to go out and eat, right? You know? So it's just like, you know, earth energy, it can be really slow to move, but once it get going, that's it. That's it. There ain't no holding it back, you know? And so, you know, I just really want, you know, I guess my message to you is that, especially like when you feel really passionate about something, and I guess I'm just speaking to this because I believe that people who are really passionate about whatever it is that you're really passionate about, that you need to lean into that. Because whatever you're really passionate about is going to be directly related to like your purpose in life. So like if you haven't figured out what it is you want to do with your life, whatever you feel really passionate about, you were probably born to do that, and whatever else you're doing is not like where you should be at in life. And that may even be why it's putting you in this upside not balanced energy, because you feel really passionate about it but you're not walking in it. Because the shyness makes you feel afraid to share with the world what you really are about. And I feel like you should risk that because, you know, how do you know that like what this is that you love so much, that can make you like so great, dude. It can make you so great. And I feel like by not doing that, you're shortchanging yourself. You just don't know. You don't know. As of right now, you could sit here and you could say, yeah, I feel concerned about saying this because of what if this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, that's true, but what about the things that could go right? Because for everything that could go wrong, they could go right. And if you're going to overthink it, maybe think about what could be amazing. You know, allow yourself to dream it. Like, that was what this card said, right? It said, like, you're not finished, you're not done yet. It says, dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. So, yeah, so, you know, and you have this opportunity coming in. So, when you have this opportunity come in, don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Don't feel like I'm not going to try because I feel like I'm maybe going to fail. So, what? Do it anyways. Thomas Edison failed, you know, before he created his light bulb, he's like failed over 2,000 experiments, I think. I forget what the exact number is, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Can you imagine repeatedly doing something over 2,000 times just to get it right? It's like, you know what? Do it anyways. Do it anyways. Like, even if you're shy And even if you feel unsure of yourself, I feel like if you take this opportunity, it's going to open doors. And the more you start to use what it is you're passionate about and get some experience under your belt, the part of you that feels unsure will go away because you'll start picking up the experience that you need to really give you the confidence that reinforces your passion. So what you feel like you lack right now to be good at it, that makes you shy, dude, that will go away. It'll go away. So, and I really feel like you should hold on to that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you guys want, like, I don't know. Yeah. So, I guess I'm going to wrap that up for now. And I guess if I feel like I have other messages, then I'll just, like, record something later or something. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't been doing as much messages lately. Just, I don't know. I do things when I feel led to. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you guys are off to a great new year. It's been really snowy up here in Metro Detroit, so I've kind of been in a hibernation mode lately. But I hope, you're out there staying safe. The world is dark and full of terrors right now, so, just, not, and I don't say that to scare nobody, but, it's definitely stay prayed up, keep up on your spiritual protections, do the things you need to do, and remember to keep giving gratitude for everything every day. Every day we're alive and free, that you're someplace where you're free and being allowed to live your life the way you want to live it is such a thing to not take for granted these days. So that's it, and I hope you guys I'll do another one soon, like when we get closer to the actual Chinese New Year, which I believe is on the 17th. Then I'll do one then. Maybe I'll do a Valentine's Day love readings as well. So we have those to look forward to. If you'd like a reading from me, or what I'm really good at is I'm really good at doing like inner child work. So like if you'd like to have an experience of like an astral a session, or like do like the 5D where I help build you like a construct to reconnect with your inner child if you need that. I'm really good at that part. So that's it. Have a great evening. Thank you.